one of my commissions. I've got a wedding card to do, although it's not like an invitation, it's a card to sort of say congratulations, and it's going to be a great big A4 card. So I've got this piece of A3 card which I've scored and folded as my base card, and what my instructions was that they wanted a silhouette of a bride and groom on the front of the card, with the bride being really little and the groom being really tall. So I have actually used my silhouette Cameo to come up with that design, and we'll go onto the computer in a short while and we'll go through exactly how I've done that and etc, etc. But first of all, let's get making our card base. Now what it was, they wanted red and white with black for the Cameo silhouette thing. Okay, so I first of all want to base my card in red, because the first layer that I want is to be red, or I want my card to look as if it's a red card, but I didn't have a piece of card big enough to fold to make an A4 card, so I'm going to just cover the front of my A4 card with this piece of fantastic American Crafts. Use my ATG, and as you can see I've just laid down some of that, and you need to put plenty on because this is a nice solid card. Pop our piece of card down, and as you can see it's a bit bigger than it needs to be, which is good. So then we're just going to cut around the excess around these edges off with our scissors. Okay, so I've done that, that's stuck down. Before I can do the silhouette, this is just one that I'd cut out for another card and completely the wrong size, but it was just to give me some idea of the colouring. So before I continue though, I do need to cut out my bride and groom for this card, because I don't know exactly what size mats I need to do, but I was just using this to play around and work out my colours, because I was looking at this straight onto the white and I was a little bit concerned that, because I'm going to mat this beautiful velvet paper which is Anna Griffin, and it's a beautiful flocked velvet paper, and I was going to put like a little white bit there so only a very small amount of the red shows, and then I was going to put my red flock, and the idea was that there'd be, hopefully depending on the size that I've done my silhouette, that there'd be only a reasonable amount of this red flock showing. But obviously I didn't think personally that it looked right, the silhouette for a bride and groom onto the red direct. I just think you lose it anyway, and if we put the white down, I just put it that way for the purposes, it's a bit sliding, and then we put this on. I'm just thinking that it just looked a little harsh, so then I put this down and I thought you kind of needed another border, and obviously if I just did this then I'd use that there, but I thought, well, if I just did a small little border mat of the white, that just lifts that up, and then when we put our silhouette on there, I think that just softens it, it brings the red in, etc. So I think that that's kind of the order of the mats that I'm going to do, but in order to get the sizing absolutely perfect I do need to cut my silhouettes out now. Okay, so here we are at the Silhouette Studio software program, and as you can see in front of you is my bride and groom. They've been placed on the A4 mat, on the 12 by 12 mat as normal, but on an A4 piece of paper that I've said that we'll be using. This enables me to try and judge the sizing of them, so it's always quite helpful, and this is going to be kind of my guide template. So if I just explain what we've done here, it's quite simple, but it's just a little bit of fiddling, and I think it shows how you can design with the Silhouette Studio to make something perhaps a little different to what was expected of the image originally. Okay, so let's take our bride first of all and go into my, let's bring up a blank page. Old bride outfit. So that was very simple. We just put one on, deleted the elements we didn't need, and then we put the bride's outfit on and put them on top of each other, and that was done easy. And what I will do is take that element weld it all together to make one flat element like we saw with the dancing couple before, but I will also take the individual elements like the dress, obviously you won't see her legs, and cut that again separately, and the same with the veil, so that we can begin to actually kind of layer it. Even though it's a silhouette, it's going to still have some dimension, and I think it will give it quite an interesting look. Now, the more sort of complicated one was John, or I call him John because it was the John paper doll that I used. And he was actually the lady that designed Jane Bride, had also designed John to be the groom. However, I personally, it wasn't my favourite outfit. There was nothing wrong with it, I just particularly wanted the morning suit look. I popped him on the mat, and I also had this tuxedo outfit, which I also took and put on my mat once I deleted all the elements of John that I didn't want. So, for example, I wouldn't want his t-shirt, shorts, or anything like that. And beheaded John. Oops. And then we took John's head, and obviously the outfit's the correct way round. Let's just use this jacket here for now. And I popped it on top, and the hair, etc. And I popped it on top of the jacket, and I fiddled around. It wasn't difficult, and we ended up with this look here. So again, with this one, I'm going to take him as a whole, weld it together to make one flat image. And then I'm going to take all these little elements that you can see here, like the jacket, the waist jacket, the collar, etc., the bits that I've picked out, I'm going to cut those individually on the black card still, but use that to layer up and get a different effect. Okay? Her arm is, because what I think will happen is that when I weld all this together, that piece will disappear, and I think then that will look a bit strange. So I want to put that cut back in place when it's all welded. The other thing that I did was there's some lines on the dress. These will not weld because they're internal lines, but they're not attached to anything. So I've removed those off the dress on this image here prior to my welding. So I have grouped this, I just put a box around this image here, grouped it, and now we're going to click weld, and as you can see that's welded perfectly, and as I suspected the little arm has gone away, so we're just going to grab that and pop that back like so. So it's in the right place. And then I'm going to get my bride, and I'm going to copy that and paste her here. To landscape, because that will be more efficient use, hopefully, of card. Put this all over here, and then we'll paste our bride and groom onto here. And I'm just going to delete my silhouette of the groom. Grab all that, copy it. Okay, so as you can see, we've cut all those elements out now, and it's come out really nicely. I don't know if you can just see on there like all the kind of detail. So the next thing I'm going to do is layer up my silhouette, this silhouette. I'm leaving the pieces on the mat because some of them are quite tiny, like the hairband, etc. So I think it's easier to work directly from the mat. So I'm going to layer that up, and then I will show you that when that's done. Okay, so we've put that together, and as you can see, I think that looks really effective. Hopefully you can catch that in the light, because you can see all the kind of lines, and so it's still a silhouette, but it's sort of much clearer, you know, that it is the bride and groom. It's a little bit closer for you. So I think that looks fab. I'm really pleased with that. So now we need to start getting our card matted up. Okay, so I have layered up my paper. So I basically took 1/8 of an inch off an A4 for these two each time, for each layer. So I've got my white and then my lovely velvet flock, which is going to go like so. I haven't stuck this down yet because I haven't decided whether I'm putting some ribbon around. Then I took some more of that lovely cardstock that I showed you from Anna Griffin from the same pack, and I cut that to 6.5 by 4.5 inches, and then just did 1/8 of an inch bigger for the two mats, a white one and a lovely red, the lovely red here, so that will go down in the middle here like so. As you can see, I've just done a bit of a layout. Nothing stuck down because I was having to play around with exactly what I wanted where with regard to ribbon, etc. And I found this lovely lace, so I'm going to use that and put that round. I had showed you, I think, the little bouquet that I'd made using the flowers and little pearly stems, etc. But I just added in a couple of red flowers as well, and then I found these lovely, these were red flowers from Paper Mania, and I found that I had these lovely organza silk kind of rosette flowers, so I thought they would look nice there. And then I've got a piece of the lace going cross corner, and if I just bring that up, you can see this is my crochet flower. I've actually done a video on this, so you may or may not have seen this by now. I don't know sort of what order I'll upload the videos, but I just popped 2 red and 2 white flowers. I twisted the base and then I popped the point through the back centre of my crochet flower, and then I just put a blob of, there was like a whole long stem still coming off. I pushed it at a right angle, put a blob of the glue gel down, let that set, and then cut off the excess. The reason I did that was because if you put it on, don't secure it in any way and then try and cut it off, there's a little chance that you're going to start moving the design that you've done. So that's all of that. So now I'm just going to sort of start gluing and sticking things down. So the first thing I need to do is, because I haven't stuck my base card down yet, is to put my lace down. So I'm just going to cut that so we don't waste too much. May as well keep the excess, and it needs to go about there, so I'm just going to leave it roughly in position, and then I'm going to use my little glue runner like I normally do, just put some on the back here, I'm doing it quite a wide section because I can't quite see where it needs to go. I want to be sure it's in the right place. So that's that piece stuck down. Then we're going to do my corner piece. There we go. Now this is flock, so you want to use your glue gel or something of that equivalent to stick it down. And I'm not going for dimension particularly, but I do need strength. There we go. I think that looks about. Using my glue gel because you are going to have to get a little bit of depth, not like to make it high like decoupage, but again just so that you don't, when you press down, the lace doesn't create a bump or dips, really, more the other way around, isn't it? So you want to have enough glue gel on there just to take that into account. And pop this in place. We've got our bride and groom, and I just want to pop a few pearls on. These are from Kaisercraft Pearl Basics, and I just wanted to put some pearls on here as these buttons. There we go. Put the glue gel on the back of our bride and groom, and we're just going to pop them in position. Now what I want to make sure is his foot and his head is correct, and that her dress is what's spilling out, so we're using that as our guide. We don't need to press too hard because we've put the glue gel on, so it gives it just not loads of height at all, but just a little, just a tiny bit of dimension. Okay, so now we want to put our lovely little flower up the top here. So I'm just going to put some glue gel on the back here. We've already, as I say, got some on there from putting the stems on, so make sure there's plenty on. You don't want it disappearing. There we go. Pretty. And then we want our, bend this over a little bit, we want our stalk and flowers down there, and our 3, so let's just position . Okay, so we just put some glue here. We're not going to need too much because the flowers themselves, these little white ones, are going to be mostly holding our little things in place. I think we might need more glue gel on than that I've done. Okay, so that's stuck down. So the only other thing I did want to do was just add a teeny sprinkle of glitter to these white flowers. That little bit of glue gel on the top there, then that will just sparkle in, and I'm going to do the same on these top ones as well. Okay, so that's the card finished on the front, and I think that looks really effective now. So here's a bit of a close-up, and hopefully you can see all that gorgeous sparkle. And then we've got the lovely flowers, and then our bride and groom, and then we've got a bit more sparkle at the top there. Okay, so but we've now done the inside, so I'll just show you what I've done. I have used some pieces from my scraps to put together this, and I had a bit of this lovely velvet, and I just punched down the side with this Great Martha Stewart punch. I don't know what it's called, they don't put the names on them, which is a shame. Then I just had some of this lovely foiled paper left. It was actually 2 pieces, but I didn't mind because I used this lovely Anna Griffin paper ribbon. I don't know if you can just catch the design on that, and I just went over the creases of that, well, the joins. Okay, so then on the other page, a similar idea. I had a piece of this cardstock left over of the Anna Griffin. I mean, obviously using 12 by 12s, there's often quite big chunks. This red foil, again, there was like a strip that was almost a perfect size for down here, so I punched along the edge of it again with the Martha Stewart punch, and that was great. But instead of sort of just putting it down and sticking over the top, I thought, well, I'll cut a piece off and sort of marry it up by putting a little piece down this side just to give it some balance. I then had a piece of this white already cut because I cut it for this mat, I think. I don't know what I'd done. I think I'd got it all wrong. I'd cut it wrong, but it was a perfect size. And then this red piece was almost a perfect size. I just chopped down one side, and I then thought, because it was a little bit long down this side and I was about to cut it, and I thought, oh, I don't know, it looked quite nice if I punched along that edge. So again, I just thought, right, let's punch along that edge. So we did that, and then I just put these gorgeous kind of, I don't know if you can see them, they're like little red epoxy stickers, and they're really, really pretty. They're like stickers, little epoxy gems. They look really effective, and I just popped those along on that edge there, on that border, because I put another piece of this border there, and I think that just, again, just finished that off a little bit and made it just slightly different to here, just made this the side that's going to catch your attention. So although this had detail on it, and you could leave this white, but personally I just think it just, you know, imagine opening that card, it just looks really luxurious, whereas if you just had a white card and a little bit in the middle there, it would not have the same impact. And then we just used one of these Pin Flare acetate stickers with a sentiment on about the wedding day, and just pop that down, and we were done. So that's the inside. Decided that I'd forgotten that I needed to add the name of the couple on, so I've cut it out using this background paper here, and I will zoom in a moment for you. But I did it in this straight line, and I also did it like so because I wasn't sure what would fit, but actually this one didn't fit properly, but I liked it on there, and it kind of made sense of the layout being like that, so I kind of like that, so I've popped it on the inside there as well. So let me just take you in a bit so you can have a little bit of a closer look. Okay, so here it is on my gypsy, and you can see just where I welded it together, and it's the calligraphy collection, and I used that feature key there, which is matrimony. Oh, that's convenient. I didn't realise. But the ampersand and here, this and, hold on, let's see if we can, it's a different one. This and was different. It was still calligraphy collection, but it was a different one. That was your gratitude, and it was just down there. And then the ampersand in the middle there was, if you just click on it and then click on the box, it takes it to the feature key that you've used, and it was the actually blackout, I didn't realise, invitation blackout, so I used that on there, and it's just up the top here. Okay, so then I just cut those out after I welded it and got those names together. So here's a slightly closer view, and you can see now how it's got a little bit of this pattern in it. You can just see a little bit of the lines, etc. Now on the outside here, because of the flocking, I needed to use my gel glue, and that was not funny on such fine lettering. So I popped it on, and it did need a little bit of clean up. And basically I used my tweezers to kind of clean it up, to scoop off any little bits that went off the edges. And then I took a wipe and I put, I kind of made like a tiny little, kind of almost like a tiny baby cotton bud, and using the tweezers as the end, and just went round with the little wipe to clean it up on the inside and outside of the letters where it might have leaked. The inside one is like so, and I didn't have to worry about using gel glue on that. I literally just stuck that down using my Zig two-way pen. So I think that looks really effective, and I love that calligraphy collection. Oh, and I'll just tell you the size that I cut them at. They were both the same size, and it was 1.5 inches, although the welded version of this one comes to 2.5, but I think if we just click on the letter, it's just about 1.5 for each letter. So if you set your letters to 1.5 and then weld, it will come out this size. Okay, so thanks for watching again, and see you again soon. Bye.